Welcome to the Onebar and Lupagus Show, your daily source for everything Minnesota Vikings.
All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus Show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. Special guest Zim from Wincinnati, the best Bengals show out there. YouTube links will be down in the description. Zim, 2-0, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I feel good to be 2-0 and here on the show and surrounded by all this Lupagus and love. Lupagus sounds like a sweet animal that's just like a majestic animal that you've never seen before, that's soft and it can hold you really tight and give you a nice little hug.
Look at this. I think me and Zim are going to do our own show after this.
Yeah, after hours.
And you're pronouncing it right. No one can get it right when they come on here. So
really?
Well done, yeah, well done.
Well, Onebar kind of gave me the alley-oop. I just got to dunk it. You know what I mean?
And there's an intro. Though. There's an intro and everything, so we're good.
I love that name now.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we'll see how much we love you if you're going to talk some smack to the Vikings or whatnot. Spoiler alert, I have been watching you and Ace. I watched the show you guys did yesterday, so I got a little intel. But let's get into the fact that this is Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. I mean, it's not very sexy, but how are you feeling about Jake Browning just overall? I mean, he started a handful of games. He kind of tore us a new one a couple of years ago, former Viking. How are you feeling about Browning moving forward?
I know Browning is ready to kick your guys' ass, so I'm excited about that.
That guy is the worst. So
he does not appreciate the Vikings, so I like that. But I think that, I started off this morning, honestly, I was watching like some games. I just went and rewatched a couple of games from 2023, particularly like the Chiefs game. And I was rewatching like a lot of those clips. Chiefs went to the bowl that year and everything and won. And one thing people don't talk about in that game is I thought like early in that game, he was moving really well. He runs more than Joe Burrow, right? And a lot of people probably don't know that. Coming out of college, he runs like a 4.7. I think Burrow was like a 4.9. I think Joe Burrow's done a lot better to get faster with training and whatever. But he does run a lot more than what I think people think. I think they think average white guy played at Washington, he's not going to run. He runs way more than I remember. The offense is going to look a lot different. I don't know if that means that it's better than Joe Burrow. You're not going to get me to get a clip or anything to say that. But I do think that is like a simplified version of what Burrow will run. And most of our fan base wants Joe Burrow to go under center. Joe Burrow doesn't want to go under center. He doesn't like it. He likes to be able to decipher what he sees. He doesn't like motion and stuff. Jake Browning was like, give me all of that. And one thing about him is I don't think that he's better, but I do think that he understands that, okay, that's a $40 million receiver right there, and that's a $30 million receiver right there. I'm going to throw the ball to them.
Nice. Sounds like you love Jake Browning.
You know who got me on a Jake Browning like thing? My son. I took him to the game. I mean, he had never seen a game like that, crazy. And so he walked away from it not knowing anything about anything. Just like, how about that Jake Browning, Dad? Like, I mean, he just went 95 yards, 10 for 10. And I was like putting it in my head. I'm like, Dad, it's crazy because he isn't trained through the internet to be like, oh, that's a backup. That's a guy. Like, he's just going by what he just saw. He like, yeah, bro, he just went 10 for 10. 95 yards, went down the field 2 minutes and just won the game. Like, why would I not believe in him? I'm like, okay, but I wouldn't say I love Jake Browning. I'm one of them guys. I roll with the punches. I keep it moving. I'm very disappointed that Joe Burrow's not there. Yeah. But this is just what it is, and I'm living in it.
Well, Jake Browning needs. He's got so much hatred for the Vikings. We already played him, and he beat us. Like, don't you think he should be over it? Like, move along. He got his start here. I think he owes us a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
A nice thank you note to the show here, including us.
Well, if you can get me to win, I can give you guys a thank you, and
okay.
Lupagus, I give you a great big Lupagus hug, and
yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Hey, maybe I could be like the liaison between the whole thing about, hey Jake, like, but we got to get the win first. I'm just keeping it on. I got to get the win, and then I'll be like, hey, you might want to squash that, Jake. Let's move on and everything like that. But right now, I feel like you guys have an edge. Being a Viking fan, you know what heartbreak feels like. You know what it feels like everybody has their edge when they go and start up a show or they do anything. And that's Jake's, that's his edge right now. It's like, bro, These guys cut me. They didn't want me. I got to go cook them.
Right, so, hey, I got to ask you, why is your O-line always at cheeks every year?
It's a very complex question.
We're open a wound.
It's not that they don't do anything. It's just the style that they're playing. Andrew Whitworth did a real good write-up, and I think he was on a pod and talked about this too. I interviewed Orlando Brown Jr. 3 weeks ago. I said, bro, don't you think that it'd be better if you get a little bit more of the run game? He was like, no, I like the system we're in. You're always in retreat. You're always in shotgun. The team always knows that you're passing. Joe Burrow came out of – and, I mean, Joe Burrow just led the league in completions, yards, touchdowns, doing that. And it makes it hard. So from a grading thing, the defense is always going to have the edge because they always know that you're going to probably pass anything second and long. We're not running ever. And he's going to throw. And I think that it puts them on their heels a lot. But the Bengals have done a lot. Riley Reef, Lyle Collins, Trent Brown. Riley. If we had Riley Reef, the reason I bring him up, because I knew the Vikings, if we had Riley Reef, one thing that people do not talk about with the Bengals, we win the Super Bowl. Riley Reef was
really
wow.
Yes, he was cooking with us, bro. When he went out, we were playing dudes that went to my high school that just were just like, oh, Bengals, hand me a jersey. I'll go out there. Guys that are not in the league. 4 guys on that offensive line that Joe Burrow took to a Super Bowl are not even in the league anymore. Riley Reef was cooking with us. Wow. That was one of our best right tackles that we've had. Once we went out, we managed, but Bengals fans will tell you this, if we had him, we'll be straight. But my point is, we did a lot. We've gone through 24 offensive linemen since then. We currently have a first-round right tackle on the team, Amarius Mims. We went and signed the number 1 free agent in all of football with Orlando Brown 2 years ago, right? No, Orlando Brown. We then come in. We then come back in later on. Dalton Risner to me is like a little bit of a band-aid. I'm not going to brag about that one, but my point is that they've done a lot, bro. Like Ted Karras is coming off his best season as a pro. We re-signed him in the offseason. Remember, we signed Alex Kappa, who blocked for Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. The media has this fixation with smaller market teams. When they don't get what they want and they see Jamar Chase and T. Higgins as wide receivers, then they're like, oh, they must have neglected something. We got to get them with something. We've done probably more than 65% of the league. It just doesn't get covered. When Risner got signed, I ain't see it go across the screen on ESPN. It's just one of those things where they're conditioning people to be like, oh, they ain't doing anything. Then there is the other train of thought that says, bro, why didn't you go to the draft this year and go draft the guard second round? Why didn't you do, like in hindsight, I'm like, damn, like, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? Because it's human nature and they could have did more, but it's so many conversations. It's Joe Burrow's playing style. You're going to see Jake Brown is going to get the ball out way faster than Joe Burrow. Like Joe Burrow lives to extend plays. That's where you get the big Jamar Chase 60-yard pass. Nope. Jake Brown and wide receiver screen here, then can dunk there. We played you 2 years ago. You know how it looks.
Give us a scoop. So you gave us the rundown a little bit on the offense and offensive line, but when you look at team rankings and as far as where the Bengals rank offensively, running the ball, throwing the ball, like it's not great. Like give us the lowdown on the offense as a whole, like biggest weaknesses.
The biggest weakness is the run game. The run game is maybe the worst run game I've ever seen in the history of football. Wow. They put no threat in anybody's mind to run the football. But the craziest thing is they have a super talented, if you play fantasy football, you have a top 5 probably running back in football, like by most fantasy measures. Like Chase Brown is a weapon, bro. But he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any running back in football currently right now. The offensive line is full of pass blockers. There are no people movers on that line. Our best run blocker probably is Lucas Patrick that we picked up in the offseason. But, he's hurt. So now we got Dalton Risner playing in his space. But we don't really know about Dalton Risner. So we play like Cody Ford. Like Dalton Risner so far hasn't looked good for us. So they're kind of mixing that around a little bit. But it's an offensive line full of pass protectors. They don't run block well. 6 years later, Zach Taylor has an awful run scheme. When they do decide to run, they are deadly. They are very deadly. But that is the weakest point probably on the whole entire team is run blocking.
Dang. Who's one player on your team when he takes the field? Like, oh my God, here we go again. I watch this guy.
Do we have like a guy that sucks? Like it was our guards, but our left guard, he hasn't allowed of pressure the whole season. Dylan Fairchild, no pressures.
Yeah.
One of the highest rated. Like he's awesome. I love him. It was our guards. Man, I mean, bro, we have a bunch of mid players, but there's nobody like that. I'm just like, bro, get them all. Like all of last year and the year before, it was like Von Bell. It was like all these dudes like Sam Hubbard, like that had no business playing. Since then, new D coordinator. Now guys like Jordan Battle are emerging. Guys like Dax Hill are getting their chance to play. I don't think they're excellent. I think they're average and above or competent players, but they're that's been the story so far. Is like our roster was so trash last year to me, like as far as like who they were playing, and Burrow just elevated everybody, but they still would lose games because it was 40-38. You know what I mean? And now the guys that should be playing are playing. Doesn't mean that they're better than everybody. It's just I think they're finally playing the proper players.
I was watching your guys' show, like I said yesterday. It was hilarious. I can't remember who it was. You guys were reading off the Vikings offensive line PFF scores. And I think it was Ace that just after he read them off just said that's disgusting. He was visibly upset how horribly the Vikings
it was a bad week.
It was a bad week, man. It was a bad week. Where do you see the Bengals taking advantage of the Vikings come Sunday?
Well, let me ask you this, guys. Do you think that those grades are accurate based off of what you've seen thus far through 2 weeks, not just last week?
For the most part.
Yeah, I would say for the most part. We had one good quarter of football.
Yeah, I mean, Brian O'Neill, like you guys said, he ranked fairly well. But then you get into, I mean, the crappy part is Justin School.
Oh, he's so
who
bad.
shouldn't even be out on a football field. Like,
he's our turd.
That's a valid grade. He's not very good. Donovan Jackson had a great week 1, bad week 2. So then you take Ryan Kelly out of the mix, put Michael Juergens in there, never played a snap in the NFL. So, yeah, I mean, they're pretty valid. Pretty valid, unfortunately. But Darrisaw, it looks like he could be back. And he's going to have quite the test ahead of him.
I was just going to say this because we were talking about that. We might have spoken on it briefly on the show. I'm going to tell y'all right now. I told you there's a lot of mid on this team. I think Trey Hendrickson is the best pure rusher in all of football. Wow. I think Myles Garrett is a better D tackle. I think Max Crosby is a better, D lineman or whatever. I can name probably 8 guys that I think have a better, full body of work, run stopping, like all that. In terms of pass rush, if it's third down, get the ball out quick. And and I don't care who it is. If they don't get the ball out quick, Trey Hendrickson is the one person I will stand on. You might come up with a plan for Jamar Chase on Sunday. I don't know. But there is no plan for Trey Hendrickson on third down. You could chip, you could do whatever you want. He is the most double team person in the National Football League. He leads the National Football League with 14 pressures. He should have 5 sacks by my count right now. He is on a tear. He is very dove into his religion and his belief. He didn't even come to camp. He's super fresh. He just came out there. He doesn't tape his hands. A complete psychopath. And that dude, I'm telling you, like, that is one of my favorite Bengals of all time. It's one of the greatest free agent signings in the history of football that nobody ever talks about, because this is a guy that wasn't really starting for the Saints and has now come out and now been the NFL sack leader 2 years. Like, he's a terror. If you can get a lead and you run, and I know Aaron Jones is out or whatever. If you're like running effectively, okay, then Nolan Vogt, everything I said is out the window. But if you are playing from behind and you have second and distance, third and distance, he's coming. He's coming around the corner fast, bro.
I want you to remember these 2 words, Zim. Walter Rouse. He will end Trey Hendrickson this weekend.
No, he won't. He will not do that. I hope it better if it's not Darrisaw out there.
It will be Walter.
I mean, even with Darrisaw, first game back after a big injury, there's going to be issues there. But like, that's going to be a big part of it.
I've seen guys do well on him that are generally like not as big. I wanted Darius on this, right? I've seen guys do well on Trey Hendrickson that are generally lower center of gravity, kind of smaller guys, like guys that you probably never heard of, like I don't know if you know Patrick McCarry and guys like that are not like household names, that are like smaller guys that can, because he gets so low.
Yeah.
And like those big guys, they just have problems with it. I've seen him demolish Trent Williams in his prime. Like Trey Hendrickson is a nightmare, bro.
Yeah.
Like for anybody. But I wanted to go back to the one thing you said. Who's out there that I'm like, oh my god,
You thought
Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor.
Wow.
If I had your coach, I would probably have a ring and at least another second Super Bowl appearance minimum. If I had a play call that a guy scheming, we took your guy Riscotti because we were trying to figure out how to scheme guys open, and here we are. We still don't scheme up anything. It's just Jamar's out there somewhere, T's out there somewhere. I will say this though, we got hella weapons though now. Like Noah Fant, you're gonna get a heavy dose of him. You're gonna get a heavy dose of Kaseki, but it has nothing to do with Zach Taylor. It's just balls out. It's non-explosive, 4 yards. Jamar's gonna break a tackle. 4 yards for him is 11 every time.
I gotta ask you quick. With Carson Wentz coming in for the start, as a Bengals fan, who would you rather face? JJ McCarthy, who's struggling, or Carson Wentz, who God knows what it is?
JJ all day.
Yeah.
I watched that game. JJ, without a doubt.
It's fair.
I think a veteran quarterback that doesn't give a damn, that is going to throw it up, and the secondary I don't really trust. I like they're all high draft picks, but they're all like unproven. So like crossers and stuff, I think they'll watch the tape. They'll eat us up with that. I have Hawkinson on my fantasy football team, so I'm in a bit of a pickle. Yeah, so far, but I'm playing them. I'm playing them.
You got to.
You got to play him. My bench. I mean, I got what's his name? He's hurt. Goddard's hurt, so that's so I got to play him. But I think that Wentz is the type of guy I've seen. What's bro from the Cowboys? Cooper Rush.
Yeah,
he absolutely sliced us up one time. Like a veteran quarterback that can like get the ball to spots, take chances, not really scared, push it when he has to. Flacco probably had some pretty good success week one. Like Carson Wentz is definitely a way more in favor for the Vikings, 1,000%.
Wow. All right, Zim, how do you see this one shaking out Sunday? You get your first loss?
No, absolutely not. I think I was just looking at you guys' defensive grading and stuff. I do respect, like, I know Hargrave probably hasn't shown up as much. I think Bengals do have a problem with stunts and stuff like that sometimes. So, like, I don't know. And then Green, it's some guys. I think it's closer than what I want. But at the end of the day, I just think Jake Brown is going to be scrambling. He's going to run more than you think. And he's going to just get the ball to the weapons. And let me ask you guys this. Do you think Carson Wentz can score 24-plus points?
It depends how KOC calls the game. He wasn't calling the offense the same way with JJ McCarthy the first two games. So if he goes back to his offense, I think he can, but he hasn't called his offense yet this year.
That's what I think it takes, though. I think the Bengals are scoring 24. Like, it's just too many weapons. And Browning, any other backup, I would be like, I don't know, but Browning doesn't give a damn about any of that. I just think it's not that he's like an excellent quarterback. He's smart enough to say, okay, Noah Fant, Gesicki, Chase Brown, like heavy Chase Brown.
Jonathan Grenard is going to make Jake Browning crap himself on national television. He's going to get three times lowering that shoulder.
Yeah, and we're getting Romo and Nance for this one. Romo and Nance.
Weird. Before we wrap it up, and again, links down in the description. Zim, you're absolutely killing it. Like, the Bengals aren't, like, the Vikings are favored. Isn't that offensive? I mean, Vikings have played 7 of 8 horrible quarters. I know it's in Minnesota, but like that, if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm taking a little offense to that. Carson Wentz never played for the Vikings before. I mean, so many things, so many injuries.
I feel like I've restructured my brain, and now I'm in the underdog role, and so I'm embracing it. If you would have had me come on here with Joe Burrow, I'd been like, yeah, we're gonna put you in a headlock out there on Sunday. It's gonna be ugly for you boys. Joe Burrow's coming to them.
Jeez,
Why is he talking like this?
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Like I just turned into like a superhero. Like when you got, I'm gonna tell you, I've seen Joe Burrow down 21-3.
Yeah.
It Arrowhead, nothing but red around me. I always tell the story, red around me, nowhere. Like when you've lived that, there's not a person on this earth that can tell you anything about anything. So when we talk quarterbacks and stuff, I don't care, Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? But they took away my superpower. So now I'm just a humble young man, just happy to be here and talk football with you, gentlemen.
The alter ego showing up.
Oh, there you have it, Zim. We appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah,
Like I
man.
said, links down in the description. Cincinnati, they do an awesome job over there. Hey, good luck on Sunday, man.
Yeah.
Good luck to you guys, man. I hope it's a really good game. We come out of there healthy and we can laugh and drink a virtual beer to it.
Yeah. Get that embrace too. Lupagus embrace.
Yeah, give me a Lupagus. Come on. Bring it in.
There it is.
Sorry, guys. I'll just sit over here and watch. It's getting